What's up, everyone? Today we're going to go through some gear sets that I have on specific champions that I found work better, or they're unique builds that I think work very well in the situations that I have them in. So I just wanted to share some of those unique builds with you. For some people, when I shared it with them, it really changed how they approached certain dungeons or certain things in the game. So to start now, these sets have been around forever. I'm using them in a unique way that, the champion could be better elsewhere. However, the way I have them built, it works for me, and so give it a try and it might work for you. So who do we have? We have as we all know, Eurogrim. Eurogrim is still a viable soloer, although they nerfed him pretty hard. He can't necessarily solo some harder content. He can solo a little bit of easier content, like a Dragon 20, but not necessarily a Dragon 23. He might be able to, just take a little bit longer because he doesn't put as much poison, not as much healing, so you will need that cleanse on him for him to survive. So Eurogrim in a regen set is amazing, but the second champion in a regen immortal set I have is Venomage. Now Venomage is actually quite amazing of a champion. This is the way I have him built. Some decent defense and HP so that he can survive. You still want him to do some kind of damage, and then accuracy to land his skills. But why? Venomage actually decreases the target's max HP by 75% of the damage he does if they're under heal reduction. Heal reduction is part of his A3 skill. Now the other thing that Venomage does is has a 30 up to 50% chance when booked to activate these 2 poison debuffs on the target. And so, you put up 2 poisons at 2 turns each. He hits, boom, boom, has a 50% chance to activate one of those poisons, and therefore does the additional damage on that A1. Okay. His A2 here, it puts up decreased defense on one enemy, but also has a 100% chance to put up decreased attack if they're under poison. Okay, and that A3 does put out the poisons and that heal reduction. And then the passive, anyone under heal reduction deals 15% less damage. So you got to think he's doing putting out 15% less damage on anyone with a heal reduction buff. Then, because the poisons are out, he also is going to put decreased attack up and decreased defense up, so he can actually do more damage on the A1. So his kit is actually amazing. And then, of course, he has an all battle 45 accuracy. Put him in the lead, and you can lower some of the accuracy to land these skills. The second unique build that I have is Sennasha. And, she's a healer. She's not really a damage dealer, although she does put out a lot of damage and is part of a blender team. My Skull Crown was in a stun set as well. And both of these actually helped me through Faction Wars. Especially that annoying stage 20 when, you're dealing with all the Valkyries. And you have to find a way to stun them. 21. And then you got to stun them to get to the boss, because if you don't have the right champions, it could be difficult. So Sennasha and Skull Crown together double hit. Skull Crown double hits if over 50%, Sennasha double hits under 50%. So you got, if timed right, you got twice the chance to stun these people. So I just have her, as you could see, just in like plus 12 gear. All I really had her for was the stun gear. I tried to find as much damage I can find on her so that she could still do damage. You still want her to do damage. I just didn't bother maxing out her skills because I passed the faction like this. So she's a very viable option. in a stun set, very good. If you're going to put her in a blender team, you want as much attack. If you can get high attack, high crit with a stun set, in a blender team, even if you don't kill them, at least you have that chance to CC them and render them useless. Third champ that's showcasing is a miscreated monster in a shield set. So a shield set is plus 30% HP ally shield. So everyone gets that shield of 30% of miscreated monster's HP. He is an HP based champ, so you do want as much HP on him as you can, so that doubles up to add that damage on his skills, but also give a nice beefy shield. On top of that, his A2 adds a shield equal to 25% of the damage inflicted. So you do want some kind of damage on him. But I found he actually works great at Spider. So when he AoEs all those spiderlings, he's going to stun them all, 50% chance, but he's going to put that stun on everybody. And then with the shield set plus his shield buff, everybody has a nice juicy shield that can take a beating and a pounding from all those spiderlings and the spider themselves. So I found the first 3 rounds, he actually works great. He's the only place I really use him for is Spider 25 when I farm, just so I can get that shield and that stun on the champions. Next champion to showcase is Volgoth. Now Volgoth again can be great in other sets like a regen sets, healing sets, that sort of thing. But I actually have Volgoth in a Swift Parray set. And what Swift Parray does, it gives you some more speed, some more crit damage, but also it's that 50% chance of unkillable when fatal hit. Now 50% I find actually procs a good amount of time. In the arena on defense, if you're not first, they're going to hit first. He gets nuked. He heals the rest of its team with his passive. 50% of the damage he receives, he'll heal to the team. So if they hit him for 10k, he's healing the whole team for 5,000, which is pretty strong. But in saying that, if he's unkillable and they keep nuking him because he's the lowest on the team, he's going to constantly heal the rest of the team. And sometimes it doesn't proc and he dies right away, but for the most part it does proc quite a bit, surprisingly. And this is how I have him mastered. So added heal, and then I actually have bulwark on him, so he'll actually take 5% damage from the rest of the team. And because of that, he's never being CC'd or slept rather, because he's always taking damage. And he's giving that little bit of extra heals as he takes that damage. So that's pretty awesome in his kit. Renegade, for the most part, you got to speed tune her for your teams, but just want to showcase this refresh amulet. And again, to a previous video, refresh is actually very strong. If you can get to silver, start buying those refresh chests. Cleansing I don't use very much, which has that 8% chance to remove a debuff, but refresh uses a heck of a lot more. On somebody like a Renegade, on a Geomancer, on anybody that can benefit from having their skills up right away, that is where I would stick a refresh amulet. Stats doesn't matter. So as you see on my second Geomancer I'm working on, I got a +4 with HP and defense, and it's very low stats, but I'm only using it A, because I don't have another one, and B, because I just want it for that 5% chance. Now I do need accuracy, and I tried to roll this one from resistance to something else, and it rolled back to resistance, so those Chaos Ores failed me. And then I think I had a flat stat HP, and now I got a flat stat attack. So this sucked as a reroll. But if you can get multiple pieces on a refresh, the champions will do that much better, right? Nuke, use that Heartseeker, and then has that 5% chance to get the Heartseeker back on the next round, and then Heartseeker it again. If I had a higher crit damage necklace, I would have definitely put it on. But those are the benefits of those accessories. Lastly, the other one I have is Godseeker Neri. So I just threw a bunch of stuff on her as a mule at one point. I wasn't using her, and then I actually used her in Clan Boss, and she virtually doesn't die. She's actually amazing and was one of my strongest damage dealers on the team. And I had Geomancer on the team. She actually did more damage than Geomancer, even though he was reflecting. It was on a lower boss, difficulty boss, which is why Geomancer didn't do as much damage. And then on top of that, I was running Ally Protect, so Geomancer was doing even less damage on the Reflect. However, she put out just as much damage as he did, which was amazing. And she's not even, like, I got +4 pieces on her. And but the one thing I found is a lifesteal set on her is amazing. So, why? Her A1, she heals by 5% of their max HP, but cannot heal herself. So when she's A1ing, she's healing somebody else, but now with a lifesteal set, she's actually also able to heal herself. So she's kind of healing 2 people at once. And she does put out quite a bit of damage, stack her defense and her crit. And she does do some good damage on that A1. She's healing everyone again. Her A2, which is pretty awesome, is a bigger heal. Heals of their max HP once again, but also decreases their buffs by 1 turn and increases your buffs by 1 turn. Great for Clan Boss to get that 1 extra turn on all your skills, dungeons, and that sort of thing. And then, of course, she has this Ally Revive. A single Revive, but resets all the skills on cooldown, which is amazing. So they you spam all their skills, then they die. You bring them back up, they got all their skills back, which typically doesn't happen, especially when you're fighting a Warlord. She picks them right back up. Build her with high resistance, so Warlord doesn't resist, and get lucky. But her in this build actually works surprisingly well. I think I only have 2 champions in lifesteal sets, and she's one of them, and works amazing. Other than that, everyone else is pretty much in standard builds. Of course, a Relentless set on your champions is always worthwhile whenever they can benefit from doing the additional damage. In Geomancer's case, I've rebuilt him for Hydra. Instead of putting Reflex on him, I put Relentless, just so that he gets those extra turns to nuke and do the damage. That's really the difference between Relentless and Reflex, is the fact that they're going again, so they can do the additional damage. But again, to get that HP pern up multiple times, and then of course it's RNG because it's only 18% to get that extra turn. I believe Reflex is 40% to put a skill on cooldown, but you don't get the extra turn. So there you have it. Those are some of the champions that I have in unique sets. My other favorite set that I have is Blind Seer in a Deflection set. That 25% chance to reflect 1 debuff onto the attacker works surprisingly well. You just got to be careful when you're using it and the boss does something. So like Magma Dragon, you reflect the burn, and then now the boss puts out heal on himself. So you got to be careful of when it used, but by far one of my best sets. Added HP, added defense, and then I also add that little bit of Immortal, and I built her quite tanky with high resist for Arena, and that's kind of how I repurposed her as a defense champ. But there you go. Those are some of the champions I have in the sets. Of course, people like Arbiter and Sifi can go in speed sets just to be as fast as possible, and as many champions as you can get with these refresh accessories is beneficial, just so that their skills come up again and you can use them multiple times. The amount of time I've revived and had the refresh proc, and then I'm able to revive a second champ back to back, has been quite a bit. So there you go. Hopefully that helps, and we'll catch you all in the next video.